Hello, this is Elizabeth with Kinship Collaborative, and today we have our third and final installment in our wedding planning burnout video series. Make sure to catch up with the prior two videos in which we talk about what is wedding planning burnout and how do I prevent it or reverse it. So today we're going to be talking about working with the pressure of wedding planning. I know this is a really hot topic. Everyone feels pressure around some aspect of wedding planning. So we'll talk through a little bit how to understand that pressure. But first, I want to let you know that we are going to be kicking off a really super fun 5-day wedding planning wellness challenge on April 22nd. It'll be 5 days where we'll implement some concrete tools to operationalize what we've been talking about over the last 3 weeks. So if you have been following along and you're like, I'm on board, Elizabeth, I want to know more, during that 5-day challenge, you'll be learning 5 tactics, some practical tools every day to work with your emotions to prevent and reverse wedding planning burnout. So go to kinshipcollaborative.org and make sure to get signed up for the challenge. I can't wait. It's going to be so fun. It's the first time we're doing anything like that. So can't wait to see you there. So let's go to the topic of today, which is how to manage the pressure of wedding planning. And it's important to talk about this topic because the pressure of wedding planning is a big part of what contributes to wedding planning burnout. So let's first sort of identify what are some of the pressures. There are so many. I could probably talk all day just listing the pressures, but here are some of them that I hear all the time. I have to please my family. I have to please the person who's paying for the wedding. I have to make sure everyone feels included. I have to make all the right decisions about the wedding, from the caterer to the location, blah, blah, blah. I have to pivot quickly given COVID stuff, make sure that everyone is up to speed. I am getting married, and that is pressure. I need to be the perfect bride. I need to, or spouse, or however you identify. I need to have a perfect relationship if I'm getting married. The pressure of spending so much money on one day and feeling like you need to make sure you're spending it right. The pressure of looking skinny and bridal. The pressures are literally endless. I could go on forever. I'm sure you have like 10 more, right? So my main goal for today is I'm going to pop the pressure bubble for you. I want to let you know that all of those pressures are based on flawed, wrong assumptions. Because let me tell you, there is no way to please everyone. Some people may have feelings. Some people may be disappointed. Some people may not get it. Some people may feel left out. I promise you there's no way to please everyone. I promise you that there's no way to know that every dollar is being spent perfectly. There's no way. There's no way to fully please yourself. There's no way to throw a perfect wedding. You won't. And so on and so forth. So the idea of pressure implicitly is wrong because it's based on an idea that it's possible to do the things you're feeling pressure around. And there's just not. So what if you were to flip your mind and say, things are going to go wrong. People are going to be disappointed. We will never know if it's perfect. We will never know if our money's being spent well. We could, it could be a disaster. So what? So what? So popping the pressure bubble of wedding planning is about really internalizing the idea that any pressure you're feeling is going to set you up to fail. It's going to set you up for burnout that will not be satisfied. It will not be satisfied. The pressure is based on looking at the wrong metrics to evaluate if you're having a good engagement and a good wedding. A good engagement and a good wedding, you can only define for yourself based on what are your and your spouse to be's unique values and priorities as a couple. Does it need to be based on pleasing everyone? Does that need to be based on these materialistic, capitalistic thoughts about wedding planning? Does that resonate with you and who you are as a person? If not, I invite you to throw it out the window. So, I invite you to pop the pressure bubble by telling yourself, the pressure is setting me up for failure. I'm going to flip the script and find a different way to find meaning in my engagement. What does this really mean to me? Now, specifically, when we come to managing pressure in our relationships with our mom, our dad, our in-laws, our friends, a lot of us are people pleasers, aren't we? If you're really a people pleaser in your wedding, I'm imagining you're a people pleaser in your life. And I invite you to explore that and ask yourself, if someone's not pleased with me, if someone is feeling excluded, if my mom doesn't approve of my invitations, if my dad, who's paying for the wedding, doesn't get all of his coworkers invited, if they're disappointed with me, why am I so stressed about that? What's the problem? What's the problem with someone being disappointed in me? If that just blew your mind, then you know where to investigate. You have something to talk with your therapist about next week. Because we all disappoint people, and that's not a problem. It's not a problem to be disappointed, a disappointment. Unless you maybe learned at some point in your life that you have to make everyone happy in order to get love, in order to get approval and appreciation. It's actually not a problem for other people to have feelings about us. So can you increase your capacity to tolerate not pleasing everyone? That is your work. And I promise you, if you're feeling that in wedding planning, that is a hot spot for you in your life. And you would maybe do well to investigate that and explore that now. The best way to manage that pressure is to be authentic and transparent in your relationships with the people that you're feeling pressure around. So rather than automatically on autopilot trying to make them happy, you show up authentically with them and you say something like this: gosh, Mom, I really want to make you happy with this, and I'm feeling a lot of pressure. It's really stressing me out. I'm wondering if that's something we can work on together. I'm really worried about disappointing you, Mom, and that's something I've felt for a really long time. I'm about to be a married woman or man, and I think I'm ready to change that dynamic. How would that be for us? I mean, this is mind-blowing stuff. I'm asking you actually to really engage on a very deep level with some of your unconscious repetitions, meaning some of your habitual patterns, which might be really scary, and to name those in your relationships. So I'm asking you to do really hard work right now. So if you're scared, if you're like, Elizabeth, I don't know if I can do that, that's okay. That is so okay. But my invitation to you is to just be curious about this topic and to be curious about this pressure and the people pleasing, because it is setting you up to be stressed. It's setting you up to be chasing after the wrong thing. And it's setting you up for burnout, not only now in wedding planning, but my guess is outside in your life, in other places too. So that's that. We could probably talk about this for hours, but I just want to give you a little nugget of information about this. Some food for thought. Maybe bust out your journal right now, or take 10 minutes and soak this in and ask yourself how, if at all, this resonates with you and your experience. So that really concludes our 3-week wedding planning burnout series. I hope that you've learned something. I hope that you're feeling less alone. I hope that you're feeling less like you're the only one having a hard time during engagement. I promise you, you're not. And I want to invite you to our 5-day challenge starting on April 22nd. That's a Thursday. That's day 1. So make sure, if you want to do it, to get signed up in advance. It'll be 5 days of prompts, and we'll have a Facebook group, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And you'll end day 5 with truly 5 new strategies for managing emotional overwhelm during your engagement and beyond into your life. I'm so excited to share these things with you. So thank you so much for joining and for being curious about your experience. And I wish you all the love in the world. Bye.